Getting all around my room, my world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to another rebuild. Today's rebuild is going to be interesting. I'm not going to say it's going to be the most challenging one, because it very well could be, but I don't know off the bat if it's going to be the most challenging, because it's all up to chance at the end of the day. And what I mean by that is, today's rebuilding challenge is we have to take a random team, which I ended up getting the Pittsburgh Steelers for this rebuild. So we have to take the Pittsburgh Steelers and rebuild them, but I have to spin a wheel to decide what round of the draft we can focus on. So a little bit more specific for that. Basically, I will spin a wheel, and on the wheel it has first and second rounders. It has third through six, I think. No, is it 3 through 5? Yeah, I think it's 3 through 5 mid-round. Then it has late round, which is 6 and 7. And then it has undrafted on the wheel. So we have 4 different slices of the wheel that we can choose from. And once I get one, let's say I spin the wheel and I get round 2 to 3. Or actually, no, that's wrong. It's round 3 to 5. Let's say I get round 3 to 5, which is like the mid-rounds. Then, when we get to the actual draft, the only players I can take are players that are projected to be rounds 3 to 5. I can't take round 1 to 2 guys. I can't take rounds 6 and 7 guys or undrafted guys. I can only draft that round of players. So, if I have to get undrafted players as my wheel spin for that entire draft, I can only draft undrafted guys. So my first round pick is going to be an undrafted player. So that's where the element of super difficulty comes in to play. If I get a bunch of unlucky spins where it's like 3 seasons in a row where I haven't gotten a first or second round draft pick, that's going to be the problem. If that ends up being the case, we're going to have to try to maneuver and pivot around. Maybe we rebuild the team, we focus more so in free agency or through trading. Maybe those 2 avenues are the easier way to get around it. But luckily that won't, or hopefully that won't happen, and hopefully we get lucky enough to get at least 1 or 2 spins where we have a round 1 and 2 guys. Now, that's going to be a little tricky for the round 1 and 2 guys. When we get deeper into the round, like rounds 5, 6, and 7, there's not going to be any guys projected at round 1 to 2 at left. So we're either going to have to trade those picks away or draft, or probably we'll have to trade those picks away because we can't draft anybody that's not projected to be that specific round. So it's going to be a very interesting rebuild. I think it can happen, specifically because we got picked with the Steelers. So the Steelers are already a decent team. We just need to put some pieces here and there. So it shouldn't be that difficult. We already have a good jumping off point. I don't know. This is a really interesting rebuild because I don't know where it's going to go. The wheel could go in 100 different directions. I have no idea if my luck is going to be good or if it's going to be really bad. Am I going to have to pivot to possibly doing free agency as the main focus or trading as the main focus? Like, I don't know what's going to happen in this video, but that makes it so much more exciting. So if you guys are excited for this, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let's get that subscriber, not subscriber ratio a little bit closer to 50-50. That'd make me feel a little bit better. So hit that subscribe button because we've got ourselves college football content coming in the next couple of weeks. I think it releases, as of recording this video, in like 9 or 8 days. So we've got like a week, basically, before College Football 25 releases. And I could not be more excited. Yes, I have it on July 16th for early access. So you will be getting college football content starting July 16th. It's going to be the craziest thing I have ever experienced, and I hope you guys are along for the ride. So if you don't want to miss out, hit that subscribe button. But now, We've got to focus on this rebuild. How is it going to go? I have absolutely no idea, but let's get into it and see how it goes. Okay, so as mentioned in the intro, we have been given the Pittsburgh Steelers as our random team, and this is the Pittsburgh Steelers roster with like Justin Fields and all that kind of stuff, Russell Wilson. This is the updated roster after the draft happened and all the free agent moves and stuff. So we've got an interesting team. We've got Fautanu, who I'm hoping can be the guy along with Zach Frazier. We've already got a pretty good offensive line. I mean, we've got Frazier, we've got Fautanu, we've got Broderick Jones. So 3 of our 5 offensive line positions are already pretty much done. Daniels and Samalu will be interesting. I think they can handle the job, but we'll have to see. We've got Freiermuth, who I'm pretty set with. He's only like 27, right? Something like that. Oh, wow. I was way off. He's 24. I apologize, Freiermuth. You look a little bit older than you actually are. He's only 24, so we're pretty much good on tight end for the entirety of the rebuild. Wide receiver, we're going to have to work on because all we really have is George Pickens. No disrespect to Cordell Patterson, one of my favorite Patriots in recent memory, but you're not going to get the job done, buddy. So we're going to have to work on wide receiver. Najee Harris I like, and obviously I'm just actually going to start Justin Fields. We're just going to have him be the starter at quarterback. Why the F not? We'll probably even trade Russell Wilson because he's got a fat contract. Defensively, we're in a good spot, but defensively defensive side of the ball needs a little bit more work than the offensive side of the ball, especially the linebackers. I like where we stand right now with obviously TJ Watt and Patrick Queen, but we're going to need some help here. Cole Holcomb's cool at an 86 overall. He's only 27. We could have him be the guy as long as he develops. If he can get star development or something pretty quickly, then we'll be in a good spot there. Obviously, we're good with Minka. We're good with probably Alex Highsmith. We're good with Keanu Benton. We could actually use an extra defensive lineman. 26 for Highsmith. We're good there as well. I don't know why I keep feeling like these guys are older than they actually are. Maybe because they're just on the Steelers, and every time I think of the Steelers, I just think of like old guys. I don't know why, but it just feels like if you're on the Steelers, you're old. But they're not. So Highsmith, we're good on. Hayward, I love you, boy. You're going to be on the team, but you're probably going to regress very quickly. So I'm very interested to see how fast his fall off is. I don't know. I don't remember how long it usually takes. We're probably going to need to get a new strong safety, unless Deshaun Elliott can figure it out. I mean, that's possible. Corner, I like Joey Porter. Obviously, he's probably just going to be our number 1. I don't know why he's not already. He's going to be our number 1, but everybody else, we pretty much need to work on the corners. So the defense definitely needs a little bit more work than the offense, but both sides of the ball do need a little bit of help to get things pretty much off to the races. So we will get going here, and I will load up my wheel spin. I didn't have it prepared because I'm not a professional, apparently. Let's get this going, and we will choose the draft class. Now, it's just going to be a random auto-generated draft class, but it will be decided on right here. So I'm just going to load this up right now. So auto-generated draft class, this is what we have, and we will be determined by the wheel spin. So I have it here. That's really bright. I saw it on my face glaring again. Okay, so here we go. We've got the wheel spin, and as you can see on your screen, it says early rounds, mid rounds, late rounds, and undrafted. So those are the 4 choices we have. And now we can go 3, 2, 1, spin the wheel. And what do we have? Come on, give me early rounds. Give me early rounds, please. It's going to be so difficult. No, undrafted. No, no, not undrafted. Oh my God, it's going to be late rounds. We can only draft players that are projected to be 6 or 7. Okay, so this first year is going to be a little bit tricky. So out of everybody here, we can only draft players that are projected in day 3, potentially round 6 and 7. So this is going to be, and to separate between like rounds 4 and 5 and rounds 6 and 7, because they're all kind of mashed into day 3, we're going to take the lower end of day 3. So the only quarterback we could potentially take is this guy, Stephen McLaughlin, because he's the last quarterback projected in the draft. I'm assuming Cesar Gonzalez would also be a potential round 6 or 7 type of talent, but we're not going to draft a quarterback anyway, but that's the kind of thing. So the bottom half of each projection, so like a lot of these guys we'll be able to take if we need to take a running back. We're not going to, but this is a bad first wheel spin. We didn't get the luck of the draw in the first season. That is for sure. So with that in mind now, maybe that means we can just kind of forego the draft this year because we're really not going to be getting anybody that crazy. There's rarely ever any super good gems in rounds 6 and 7. So we're obviously going to trade Russell Wilson because he's got a fat old contract. Courtland Sutton to pair alongside George Pickens is interesting. Don't need a tight end. Don't need a running back. Wandale's cool, but I'm not getting the value that I would want. KJ Osborne, Zamir White, and Chidobe Awuzie. I do like Chidobe Awuzie, but I think he's a little bit too old for me at this point. Do I want to go Courtland Sutton and pair him alongside George Pickens? I might want to make my own trade. Those are some okay offers, but I might want to make my own trade. Do I want to go for a receiver? That's the big thing. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go for a receiver or not. We could. We could go for a receiver. I could try to go for Marvin Harrison, but we've done that plenty of times before. We all know how I feel about Marvin Harrison, so we don't need to go down that road again. Rashee Rice always simulates really, really well in these rebuilds, so I might want to go for him. And obviously, I know we're sending him to the Chiefs, which don't need a quarterback, but I don't care. I'm not trying to help the Chiefs win. They suck. Well, the Chiefs are too good. So can I get Rashee Rice for Russell Wilson? This is probably not going to go through. Nah, it's not even close. But this is where those draft picks can come into hand because we also have Quez Watkins. I didn't realize we had Quez Watkins and Roman Wilson. Okay, I might want to get Roman Wilson and maybe Deuce Watts a little bit more playing time. I didn't realize we had... Roman Wilson's a good player. Trust me, I know. So I didn't realize we had Quez Watkins, though. How do I want to do this? They need a left tackle. I'm not giving you Fautanu. They need a right end and a right tackle. I'm not giving you Broderick Jones, obviously. So who is my right end? It's Cam Hayward, isn't it? Yeah, Cam Hayward. I'm not giving up Cam Hayward. I know he's going to regress, but I love that man too much. I can't get rid of him. Free safety, we have Minka. Strong safety, we have two decent ones. I could give up DeMonte Casey. I wouldn't be mad at that, and that doesn't really push the needle that much anyway. So I think it might be time to give up some draft picks. I don't want to give up my next year picks because that could end up being a good wheel spin for us. So I think if I give up my second round pick, it's going to have to be a first round pick, isn't it? We might just not go for Rashee Rice, but he just simulates so... Oh my god. Okay, well, first round pick is going to be what we do then, and maybe a fourth rounder. He just simulates so well, it's hard not to get him. Oh, that's so close. Come on, Kansas City. Stop being cucks. Just give it to me. There it is. Trade offer accepted. We did have to dish out our first round pick for this season, but we were dealt a bad wheel spin, so I'm fine with that. Giving away Russell Wilson. I know he's going to Kansas City where it doesn't really make much sense, but I don't care. It helps me and it doesn't help the Chiefs. That, in my book, that's a good trade. So Rashee Rice now comes to the team. He's now the number 2 receiver on the squad. Roman Wilson, I want to get a little bit more playtime, so he's going to be a number 3 receiver. And then maybe I should trade Cordell Patterson, free up a little bit more room, and Quez Watkins, because I do want Deuce Watts to get a little bit of playtime too. So we might not be done in terms of trading wide receivers. So that hopefully this... I traded Russell Wilson in hopes that Justin Fields takes over. I hope he does. We've seen him do very well in simulations before. Let's start with Cordell Patterson. What can I get for him? Nothing. Okay. What about Quez Watkins thrown in there as well? Nothing. Okay. Good to know. Cordell Patterson, what do I need? I need a defensive lineman. We have Keanu Benton. But is there anybody else that I can snag for the low price of just Cordell Patterson? He's still a viable asset. So don't knock it till you try it. Maybe we could go for like a veteran who's not going to be too expensive. Maybe DeForest Buckner would be good. What do I want to do here? Is there going to be anybody that really even makes a difference? TJ Slayton, I'm not really familiar with your game, but you look pretty decent. 82 overall. I don't know what the move is. Maybe it's not a D tackle. Maybe it's a linebacker, because we are in need of another linebacker. I could go Byron Murphy. We've seen him develop. But he might be in free agency. We might get lucky with a glitched contract and stuff and get it messed up, and he might come in free agency. So we'll keep an eye out for that. I think I'm going to go middle linebacker. That might make a little bit more sense. Is there going to be a middle linebacker that's not good enough to make the trade not work, but good enough that I feel happy with it? Nick Bolton. I do love myself some Nick Bolton, but that's another trade with the Chiefs. I don't really want to do 2 trades with the Chiefs. And I hope we're good so that draft pick doesn't end up helping the Chiefs out in the long run, because that could be kind of awkward. Who is the right move? Who is the right move? Isaiah Simmons is not that bad, because he's so flexible. He can also play safety if we need him to. I'll come back to Isaiah. We might end up pulling the trigger on that. That's not a bad offer, or at least a bad suggestion. Diablo, Roquan Smith. Trenton Simpson's also kind of interesting. I bet I can get Isaiah Simmons for something else. I want to try to get Trenton Simpson. I know he's a rookie. It's probably going to be a little tricky to get him. Yeah, it's going to be very tricky to get him. I'm going to have to give them something that they absolutely want. So, outside linebacker, we have TJ Watt. They're not getting him. We have Elandon Roberts. Do you want Elandon Roberts? We also have Peyton Wilson. Okay, that helps a little bit. Right outside linebacker, I have Nick Herbig and Cole Holcomb. I want to keep Holcomb for a little bit longer, but Herbig, I wouldn't mind trading. I guess I could keep him around because he has the potential to be decent. Do you want Cameron Sutton? I know I'm trading Steelers and Ravens, and this is probably a little bit sacrilege, but hey, I don't care. It doesn't matter. What about if I give him a 3rd-round pick as well? There we go. Trenton Simpson heads to the Steelers, and now I want to go for that final trade. I want to try to get Isaiah Simmons, because we could end up moving him to safety, and he'd be pretty good. So this is as much trading as I've ever done, I think, in a rebuild video. I don't usually do a lot of trading, but we just got dealt such a bad hand in that wheel spin, that first wheel spin. So they want a 1st-round pick for Isaiah Simmons. I mean, he's a good player. He's not 1st-round pick material, I don't think. This would be a good spot to put what's his face, Russell Wilson. We could give him Quez Watkins. They need a receiver. Okay, they probably don't. You know what? What's Isaiah Simmons' contract? He's got 3 years. I'll hold off on the Isaiah until we have a little bit more assets to work with. I'll hold off on the Isaiah Simmons trade. But let's go and add Trenton Simpson to the lineup, and then we're going to simulate the season and see how we do. We're probably not going to stop at the midseason mark because we don't really care at this point. We don't have our 1st-round picks, so it's not really that big of a deal. But I like our linebacking core a little bit more. See, if I could have put Isaiah Simmons at safety, would have been a lot better. But that's okay. We'll figure it out. This team is good in year 1. We'll see how Justin Fields does. This is going to be the crucial thing. Obviously, we are still rocking Steelers playbooks. I didn't change any of that stuff. But we do need to get our scheme fit working. So we'll run the spread with Justin Fields. That makes the most sense. And then we'll run a 3-4 under. That gives us the best scheme fits. And hopefully, Steelers playbook works out. I've seen the Steelers in the Super Bowl, plenty of different rebuilds. So maybe this will work. We're going to simulate year number 1, and hopefully we're so good that the Chiefs draft pick that we gave them doesn't matter. So year 1 is done, and we finished at 9-8. That's okay. That is totally fine for year number 1. We're still trying to figure out the kinks with Justin Fields. Is he going to be the guy? I think he is. I mean, it says it right there, quarterback of the future. 3,400 yards, 28 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. That's a good season from Fields. I don't know if the Steeler offensive playbook is going to be the best for his development. We might want to go either Ravens or Buffalo, because Buffalo has like all the Josh Allen stuff, and that's kind of what I want Justin Fields to be molded into, kind of like a Josh Allen type, although excluding all the interceptions that he makes. So I kind of want him to be in that kind of vein. Obviously, we could go Kansas City and be totally fine, but I don't really want to do that unless like that's kind of like a break glass in case of emergency kind of scenario. So I'm thinking we'll give Steelers playbook another chance next season, and if we don't see much more improvement from this, then we'll go to like Buffalo or something, and we'll see if that works a little bit better for Justin. But this is still a very good season, and on the ground, he had a decent year, nothing crazy. Certainly not like what he was doing with Chicago, that's for sure. But Najee had a really good year, 19 touchdowns. Oh my God, he might have won like best running back or something. That's kind of crazy. Pickens does get 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. Rashee Rice, I'm assuming, is going to surpass Pickens in terms of overall pretty soon. He's just that good, and he was already like a one overall lower than him when we brought him in, so it's not going to be that difficult to pass him. Patrick Queen, no surprise, really, leading the team in tackles, 112. 93 for Cole Holcomb. 81 for Dante Jackson. Tackle for loss leader. Wow, TJ Watt destroyed the season. 12.5 sacks, 23 tackles for loss. He won an award. I don't know if that's a previous award because he's won real-life awards. So I don't know if that's this year or if that's what he already did in the past. 15 tackles for loss for Holcomb. 12 for Hayward. 10 for Highsmith. Sack leader was obviously TJ with 12.5. 9.5 for Hayward. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why we didn't get rid of the boy. He's a GOAT. 6.5 for Highsmith. 6 for Holcomb. 3 interceptions for Joey Porter Jr. Love to see that. I don't know where the junior went. Did he just get rid of it? He used to have junior, didn't he? I don't know. 2 interceptions for Holcomb and Ryan Watts. That's what I want to see. The young rookie getting a lot of picks. That's good. Hopefully he'll get some good overall growth and maybe even a development trade upgrade. That'd be really, really cool. But unfortunately, we didn't make the Super Bowl. Well, we didn't even make the playoffs, so we could make the Super Bowl. We didn't make the playoffs. So we'll have to go to the off season, but we still have a good amount of money. Although I did not sign any I didn't re-sign any players, so we still have all of those contracts to talk about in this upcoming portion. It's the Dolphins and the Cowboys. You don't see the Dolphins in the first season Super Bowl. Maybe it's because we took Rashee Rice away. Maybe that's why the Chiefs didn't win, and the Dolphins won. That's not what I would have expected at all. You know what? Good for the Fins. They get a championship again, first time since the 70s. Good for them. And, uh-oh, I may have made a mistake. We are negative in the money. I didn't realize we were going to go over salary cap, so we are in a little bit of trouble here. Jordan Brooks, of all people, gets the Super Bowl MVP. Dak Prescott, MVP of the league. Brandon Ayuk and Max Crosby. Then you got Caleb Williams and Ivan Pace Jr. are your rookies of the year. So it looks like Caleb Williams had a pretty good season in Chicago. All right, we are in a little bit of trouble. We might have to start early. I wasn't expecting to start doing restructuring of contracts this early into the rebuild. I don't usually do it in year number 1, but I might have made too much of a mistake. It depends on who's here in negotiations. We've got Najee, who will accept the option on. Patrick Queen we have to bring back. But everybody, okay, we lucked out. It's only Patrick Queen, so we can free up enough money where we don't have to go crazy. We can do this. All right, let's go and team salaries. I probably should have done this beforehand. I screwed that up. That's my bad. But we can move some money back from TJ Watt. We can move some money back of Minka. And we can move some money back of Alex Highsmith. And that should give us enough to bring him back, hopefully at least. We'll test the waters here. What is it at? It's at 16 million. Okay, that's not enough. I was wrong. Actually, it is enough. We just have a little bit of money. 5-year deal. I'm going to spend it all. Spend it all, baby. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. He's coming back. We have no money left. Everybody else is gone. Get out of here. But Patrick Queen is returning to the squad. But now we don't have really any money in free agency. So year 1 free agency is kind of out the window. Who's here? Is there anybody even here that I would want? Chris Jones, Amari Cooper, Michael Pierce, the usual suspects. But crucially, is Byron Murphy here? Byron Murphy the second. No, they re-signed him. Sometimes you get it where they don't re-sign him because the contracts are all messed up and stuff. So sometimes you get lucky and they don't re-sign the player. But we didn't get lucky this time. That's okay. We wouldn't have had enough money to re-sign him anyway. We're not going to sign anybody in free agency. We'll go to the draft. We will go to the draft. And remember, we can only pick players that are projected in round 6 or 7. Now, we don't have our first round pick, obviously. The Chiefs have that. So we're starting in the second round. I might take somebody, I guess. I didn't really do a lot of scouting because I didn't really feel like it was necessary that much. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens with the board and how it falls and stuff. I'm not even going to look at the top. I don't want to see if there's anybody super good because I can't even take them anyway, so why care? Why care and see if there's anybody that's that good? We're just going to start the draft immediately, and we're going to simulate right to pick number 17 of the second round, and we'll see what's available for us. Now, it's not like we can take any of these guys. Like, we can't take Solomon Redmond or anything like this. We have to go all the way. So what's a big position of need for us? We could use some extra corners. There's usually good corners deep in drafts. So let's start with like Derek Duncan. This is like the cap of what we could probably theoretically do. And we might have a guy right here, Quandre Copeland. 6'3", 23 years old is not great. If I'm going to draft somebody like this, I need them to be at least a little bit faster than that. But it's going to be hard to find a guy like that because these are all like the worst of the worst. Ooh, I spoke too soon. Emmanuel Montgomery, 4.35 speed, ran 4.3 at his combine or his pro day. He's got B-man coverage and D zone coverage. This might be our guy. We're going to wait on him a little bit because I might be able to get him in the 5th round. So, with having him, what else do we need? Maybe another linebacker? We're pretty good on linebacker, actually. And there's probably not going to be anybody down there that I would even want anyway. So, except for this guy, maybe Glenn Hyde. 6'3", also 23 years old. I can see why all these guys are projected so late because they're old. But he's got elite acceleration. Do I take that? He's going to be normal development, but he looks like a decent enough player. I'm going to grab him. 82 speed, 91 excel. Glenn Hyde could end up being a sneaky little pick. He's not going to be a high overall, but that's about as good as you're going to get with the situation we've been put in here. So we got to go all the way to the 5th round now, and I'm going to hope that that corner is still available because getting a 4.3 speed corner is going to be pretty decent. Where is he? His name was like Emmanuel something, right? Emmanuel, here he is. Emmanuel Montgomery. We'll grab him. 6'1", 22 years old, 93 speed, 92 excel. That's a really good, fast corner to have on the team. And he's 6'1". That's a decently sized player. And then our final pick, we'll just grab some rando, I guess, here in the 7th round. Doesn't matter as long as he is projected day 3. So let's see if there's any day 3 receivers that I want to take. So you got this guy Trayvon Witherspoon, who's 5'8". Is he fast? 4th? Ooh, we might have found a little bit of a gem right here. Trayvon Witherspoon, not development, but 95 speed, 94 acceleration. 5'8", a little guy, and he's from Rice. Okay, cool. 3 okay draft picks. You know what? If I was doing a normal rebuild, I'd probably be a little bit upset with those picks. But the fact that that was all we had to do, I'm okay with that. 60. This is a. Oh my God, we got some steals. A 66. Now in the 2nd round, it makes it look a lot worse. But getting a 70 overall and a 70 overall, 2 70s in the 5th and 7th round is a really good value. Now getting a 66 in the 2nd round obviously looks really bad, but considering the circumstances and the situation in context of what we're doing here, it's not that bad of a deal. Now I would have liked to get the 70 in the 2nd round, but was this class even that good? Ooh. There's that 83 overall running back, but everything else after that was kind of buns. I like when the running backs, there's like a 1 or 2 running backs that are really, really good in a draft class. Those are pretty fun. But I mean, we didn't get lucky with the development trade. That would have been even crazier if we would have got one of those guys to have a development trade. But if they have a good season, they could certainly take off and become a development trade player. That's for sure, especially that wide receiver. If he gets a lot of play time, he could certainly become something. Offense here in year number 2, Pickens is an 88, Rice is an 87. No, I didn't check any development traits. No development trait upgrades on offense. Cole Holcomb does go up. That's huge. And Keanu Benton went up. So 2 upgrades. I know Ryan Watts also went up. I just noticed that because he was on the strong safeties. So 3 on the defense. 3 freaking development trait upgrades from normal to star. That's beautiful. The linebacking core looks really, really good. Corner's getting better. Defensive line looks good, but Cam, he's at 88 now. We're going to have to find a replacement for him. I don't want to trade him. He's Cam Hayward, man. I don't want to trade him. I love that man. Oh, what do we do? Do we trade Cam? I can't trade Cam, but we got to capitalize on his value. It might have to be like the meme. I forget what movie it is. I'm going to sound so white here. It's the meme where the guy's got pointing the gun and he's crying. I can't think of the movie that it's from. I'm blanking. That's what I feel like when I'm pulling the trigger on trading Cam Hayward. That's how I feel. I can't believe I'm blanking on the name of the movie. I sound super white right now. All right, so we're here at season number 2. We're going to get the draft class loaded in. Hopefully, this time we get a little bit of a better draw in terms. Oh, I just realized I didn't record that, did I? Oops. That's bad. Here, I'll record it again. I'll record it here off camera, and if I get late rounds, then I'll put it in. Oops. But I'm going to record this one, so I'm not stupid. Man, I am just the worst. I'm supposed to be a professional, right? Okay. Now we are recording for this one, so I'll go back off camera and spin it until I get a late rounds pick, and then I'll record that and put that in there for that one. But that's kind of awkward. So, although you wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't have said, oops. Okay, so here we are. We are screen recording, so we're ready to go. It's time to spin the wheel for year number 2. Please give me round 1 to 2. I need to get a stud. So 3, 2, 1, spin that wheel. Please give me something good. Please give me something good. Okay, it's going to be mid-rounds maybe? It's going to go to mid-rounds. Go, 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 go. Okay, it's mid-round, so we're getting better. We can draft anybody from round 3 to 5 that are projected around there. Okay, I can handle that. I can handle that. That's decent. All right. We're just slowly going up. So it's a good thing I didn't trade my first round pick, because you can find some decent studs in the round 3 to 4 range. Now I might actually start trying to scout a little bit, because like we can grab somebody that's projected round 3 to 4 right here. Now, the only way that we... how do I want to do this? Because these guys are projected around 2 to 3. So we're probably not going to be able to grab any of these guys. We'll probably just stick to guys that are projected to go around 3 to 4, and then obviously early parts of day 3. So that's how we'll do it. Okay, so now that we got that all figured out, it's time to get simulating for year number 2. Like I said, we're going to run Pittsburgh playbook for one more season, give Justin Fields the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he continues to play well, but if he has similar numbers and he doesn't really show any growth from year 1 to year 2, then we'll move to Buffalo for year 3. But here we go, simulating the season. We'll see how this goes, and we might possibly have to trade Cam Hayward. You know what? Before we cut, let me just throw him into the trade finder and see if there's any takers right off the bat. Curtis Samuel, Baron Browning. We probably need to get a replacement for him, because I don't really have a replacement for him. We get Joe Hall. That's kind of interesting. Jartavius Martin, Hargrave, X-Man, Michael Carter. Okay, so he's not getting the value that I would want him to get. If I was going to trade him, I'd need to get a replacement right end. That's just pretty much what I'd have to do. So who would that be? Who would that be? I'd love it to be Micah Parsons, but that's not going to happen. Jermaine Johnson is intriguing. So is Will McDonald. He'd probably be a little bit easier. But Jermaine Johnson is intriguing. He could certainly be. One of these two guys might be the guy that we go for. Although Aiden Hutchinson's also here. Can I do it? Is it possible? What do they value him at? That's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. This is actually possible. This is actually physically possible if I can get the right thing. Do they value Peyton Wilson at all? They don't. I was hoping that'd take it to at least the orange. Maybe I toss in a second-round pick. Ooh, what about I toss in a fourth-round pick? What about a third-round pick? I don't really want to give up a first, but I will, I guess, if it's Aiden Hutchinson. And then I'll toss in a second-round pick. No, a third-round pick from 2027. Second-round pick from 2027. I'll do it. I'll do it. I do it. Oh, my God, that's so close. But I think I am going to make this trade. I think I am going to make this trade. I'll give up a sixth-round pick this year. Cam Hayward, I'm sorry, big dog, but you're just going to get worse and worse. And when are we going to have this value to get Aiden Hutchinson ever again? So I got to do it. It's 2 second-round picks and a third. Oh, he didn't take it. Okay, I'll give him a fifth. I'll give him a fifth. I thought they'd for sure take that. That's kind of anticlimactic. Cam, I appreciate you. I love you, former Buckeye. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I can't believe I did it. But we have Aiden Hutchinson now. Oh, I can't believe I just did that. Oh, Cam, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me, Cam. I had to do it best for business, baby. I had to do what's best for business. Now we have Hutch, Benton, and Heist. That's a dominant defensive line right there. I am super excited about that. That's got me bricked. Okay, so now we're going to go and simulate the season. I'm sorry, Cam. If you're watching this, I know you're not going to watch this, but if you're watching this, I'm sorry, Cam. I'm sorry. I had to do it. For the betterment of the team, man. Oh, okay, So I'm going to go cry in a hole while we simulate the season, and hopefully that trade helps us out. And more importantly, Justin Fields develops. Okay, year 2 is in the books, and we somehow did worse than we did in year 1. Year 1, we won 9 games. I thought we were good. Year 2, we win 6 games, and it pretty much confirms to me that we do need to adjust the playbooks. The Steeler playbook just is not going to do it for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, this is still good numbers. He has a little bit more interceptions than he did last year, but still, Justin Fields is still putting up decent numbers, but we need to go into a playbook that's actually going to help us win. Najee has a decent season. No 1,000-yard receiver this year. Yeah, this just was a bad season for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, we got better. We added in freaking, what's-his-face, Aiden Hutchinson. So I don't know how we did not seem to do better. Hutchinson had a pretty decent year. TJ Watt once again leads the team in sacks, as you would expect. And then Trent Simpson got 4 interceptions this year. That's not what I expected. But just not that great. Not that great of a season. Kind of upsetting, actually, why we didn't do so well. I might just change that right now. Just go straight to it and just go to Buffalo. I don't know how far Buffalo is. Where's Buffalo at? There it is. Just go straight to Buffalo right away, and maybe, just maybe, that can change things for this offense, because I can't really be doing 6-11. That's not the whole goal. The whole goal is to win a championship, and we're not going to win a championship with 6 wins. Quick math. You just can't do it. Unless we get the craziest... Oh my god. Speaking of crazy, Cleveland is in the Super Bowl in year number 2. Before we simulate this, and I'd be a dum-dum like I was in year number 1, we got to make sure we sign everybody before that. So this is what we look like. We'll accept Aiden Hutchinson option. We have $58 million. That's beautiful. We can get everybody back here. We can get Freiermuth back. Little 6-year contract, 5.5, 6.5. He's coming back. Beautiful. Dante Jackson, I will bring back on a nice 3-year deal. It shouldn't break the bank too much. And he's coming back. James Daniels will come back. 4-year deal. 4-year deal. Maybe we do need to work on the offensive line. Maybe that's another reason why we aren't playing as well as we could. So maybe I need to focus on the offensive line a bit. Jaylen Warren, I might want to trade you, actually. Deuce Watts I want to bring back. I might want to trade Jaylen Warren, because what's the reason to have 2 really decent... Wow, he rejected that? Really, Deuce? That's kind of crazy. What's the reason having 2 20 or 85 overall players, or even higher than that with Najee? Why have that when only one of them is going to get real touches in simulation? It's not like we're playing the games, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. If we were playing the games, then I would love to have these 2 players in the same team, but having Jaylen Warren here does not make us really that much better, I don't think. So if I could package, you know what? I might be able to package him and Quez Watkins on the same little thing, and maybe that gives us even better. I mean, it gives us some decent stuff. Let me see. I can probably get something pretty good for this. So let me kind of test the waters like a left guard. Who's some of the better left guards in football? Joe Tooney, Quentin Nelson. Obviously Quentin Nelson, but we're not going to be in the range to get Quentin Nelson. Tyler Smith. I wonder if we are in the range to get Tyler Smith. Would this be possible? I mean, it might be if I gave up more draft picks, but I feel like I've given up a ton of draft picks in the past. What about Landon Dickerson? I know he's on a 1-year deal, but we could probably make sure we get him back. So the Eagles don't really want to do that. Bergeron. Evan Neal's a left guard now. Okay, we might come back to him. Elton Jenkins, Cole Strange. Cole Strange just never develops for some reason. Kenyon Green, 83 overall. Maybe Tevin? Maybe Tevin Jenkins is an option? It's a little bit more reasonable for the Chicago Bears. They need a left outside linebacker and a right end. I don't have either. They also need a corner. I don't really have that either. I want to keep all these guys. So I guess I can give them Thomas Graham. It didn't really help him, did it? Let's see. 3rd round pick next year. And then a 3rd round pick the year after. And then a 4th round pick this year. I might have to step up a little bit more. How about a A second-round pick in 2026. This feels like a lot to give up for just Tevin Jenkins, but how about just without the fourth-round pick? Okay, the fourth-round pick probably has to be involved. Is this the right idea? I mean, maybe. I feel like this is a lot to give up. It doesn't even matter. It don't even matter. 2/3, a second. Trade offer accepted. I mean, it went through. I did what I did. Maybe that was a dumb decision. I don't know, but it helps us on the offensive line. It helps us right now. So we add in Tevin Jenkins. So now Sayamalu jumps over Daniels. Yeah, I feel like we need to work on the offensive line a little bit. At least these two positions right here. Because I don't know if Frazier's going to get the job done. I feel like Broderick Jones can get the job done. We'll have to wait and see. I think we should be able to simulate this week and then offer the receiver again before we get to re-sign period. Yeah, we should be able to do it right here. So we have $37.4 million. That's totally fine. Cleveland actually won the freaking Super Bowl. Good for them. Good for them. So let's get to the re-sign period. Hutchinson, we can accept his option, and then Deuce Watts will come back and offer him another contract. I'll give him $1 million on each. We'll move it up to 5 on each, and he says that's good. So Watts is coming back. Everybody else can leave, and then we'll be good to go. Oh, I need to see the recap here. Deshaun Watson gets a Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes, MVP of the league. McCaffrey and Max Crosby, Players of the Year. Then Glenn Beal, running back for the Broncos. And Michael Givens, middle linebacker for the Rams, is your Rookies of the Year. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. And crucially, we still have a little bit of money in cap room. So maybe we go out in free agency and sign a couple offensive linemen. That's kind of the vibe I'm picking up here. Just double checking, make sure I don't have anybody that I'm missing, and we don't. So let's get to free agency, and let's pray. Let's pray that there's a decent offensive line class, and especially the interior. $29.5 million. What do we got? Give me... Ooh, Tua's here. Wyatt Teller would be perfect. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Just a win-now type of player. And he wants to be here in Pittsburgh. And we probably going to bring him in. That would be a perfect right guard. David Andrews, I could be talked into. I don't know by who, but I could be talked into. So if we just go for a straight-up win-now type of team, which we get both of those guys. All right, we're going all in on offensive linemen. We signed 2 veteran offensive linemen. Hopefully that works out for us. Generate the best lineup. Teller, Andrews, Jenkins, Broderick, and Fatanu. I'm happy with that. I think that's a solid little offensive line upgrade. And now we just go straight to the draft, and we are picking in rounds 3. Wait, what are we picking in? Mid rounds, 3 to 5. Okay, I was just making sure. We're picking in rounds 3 to 5. Those are the only guys that we can take. Hopefully there's a wide receiver. I think wide receiver and corner are going to be the 2 things that I focus on in here. Now, there could be some good middle linebackers available. That's always possible. But I feel like we're pretty good on middle linebacker, especially because we added Trenton Simpson. We already have Holcomb, we have TJ Watt, and we have Patrick Queen. So middle linebacker is pretty much done. We need to get a strong safety, and we need to get corner, and then we need to get wide receiver. I think those are the 3 positions that we absolutely have to have. So, and we weren't that good this year, so we're going to have a decent pick. We're picking at pick number 7. I guess that doesn't really matter too much because it's not like we can pick anybody in the first round. But let's talk about... Oh, there's a quarterback up there too. Let's talk about wide receiver first. So the best wide receivers that we can take are right here. So this guy's first up, Darrell Gooden. He doesn't look that good. You don't look good, Gooden. Conrad Richardson. 6'3". Not great. No, we're not worth it. Certainly not worth it. Oh, unfortunately, I don't think any of the wide receivers, at least in the first round, are going to be worth it. So let's go to, what did I say? Safety and corner. Safety and corner. Okay, so we need to get possibly Chance Wiley. He could be a guy. Chance Wiley, 6'2", decent speed. He's got 8 press speed, man coverage. He looks okay. He looks okay. What about this guy, Taquan Warmack? Poor speed. That already throws me. Yeah, he's not He's not going to be good. Chance Wiley, it feels like he could be the best option. Mike Queen also doesn't look... actually, he does look pretty bad. I was going to say he doesn't look bad physically, but Chance Wiley is a decent player. That's for sure. What about strong safeties? Because we need to lock somebody down pretty quickly here. Kevin Fowler, 6 foot, marginal speed. I think that Wiley guy is the best option, which is kind of scary. Is there nobody that's better? Joseph Williams. He's a fine player. He's nothing special. James Wilcox is a 4.5. He's worse than the other dude. What about outside linebacker? Ooh, here we go. DeMarcus Corbett, 6 foot, elite speed. Ooh, I should have scouted him a little bit more because he's probably a decent player. He's probably a decent player. How tall was he again? He's 6 foot, 238. I might be able to move him to safety. I could probably move him to safety. He'd be totally fine. I don't know. I mean, I don't really have any other better options, do I? He's not going to play at outside linebacker, so 6 foot, 238 with elite speed. I'll draft him here. And he's hitting development. 87 speed, 88 acceleration. He could probably play a little safety. I might try to give it a shot. I know it's not going to hurt anything. Why not? We'll go to the 4th round, and we'll hope that that corner is still available. I think his name was Wiley. Something Wiley. He's gone. Great. The best corner that I thought was left is gone. That kind of sucks. Sucks a lot. But, cheeks, there's a Buckeye here. Jalen Rosenthal, who's got A press, A hit power, B zone coverage. Let's grab Jalen Rosenthal. And he's hitting development as well. Okay, this draft I'm actually getting the development traits. 90 speed, 91 acceleration. Maybe he plays safety. I don't know. He probably plays corner. And then we got a 6th round pick. I guess I can take a look at wide receiver again. I don't think there's going to be anybody here. This Brandon Peel guy must suck if he's still available. Okay, so we got a couple of guys here, but I just don't think they're going to be worth it at all. Cliff Flowers. Elite acceleration, good speed. And he's development. Look at the drafting. 3 straight development traits. 95 acceleration. That's a studly player, actually. Okay. The drafting god has returned, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you worry. Don't you dare be sour. The drafting god has arrived. Now, this one's kind of a wash. I don't know where we even go. I probably just take some sort of scrub. Is there anybody else that's projected to go where I need to draft? Okay, there's a wide receiver here, but we don't need to take that. All of these guys are potential. We could take the top half of these guys, but they're all wide receivers, unfortunately. We might have to take this running back. Damian Ellerby. Decent speed. His spin move could be good. Manny Evans, 6'4". Not a great player. You're not going to find anybody that's too great. Will Lynch. What's he lynching? He looks like a good player, though. Who's this guy? Terrell Castle. Or Terrell Castle? It's probably Terrell. He doesn't look that good. I might go for that Lynch guy. I know it's another linebacker that we don't really need, but to be fair, we're going to probably move that guy to safety anyway. So let's take Will Lynch. He's going to lynch something. And it's 86 or 87 acceleration. It's a normal development, but that, I mean, it's the 7th round. It's not going to be that great. So let's end the draft. This draft was really, really good. We got 3 guys that have development traits that are probably going to help this team in the long run. So I'm super excited about that. How good were their overalls, though? 72, 70, and 70. You know what? I'm totally fine with that. Does DeMarcus Corbett go up or down if we put him at strong safety? He's a 72 currently. What does he go to if we move him to strong safety? He stays at 72. Beautiful, baby. Beautiful. Let's go. How good was this draft class, though? Cheeks. It was Cheeks. The best player is a 2nd round right guard. Buns. Booty Cheeks. Bad draft. But we got some steals. We got some absolute steals. And I'm hoping that the year 3 wheel spin gives us a little bit better. We've gone up from 6 and 7 to now 3 through 5. Maybe we can get 1 to 2. I really want to have a 1st round pick to use. Wyatt Teller gets an upgrade point. Good for him. let's add these rookies into the team and see where we're sitting, because I think the team, now with the Buffalo playbook, is going to take off. I hope so, at least. So we'll generate the best lineup. We've got Roman Wilson getting some usage, and we'll want Watts to get some usage because we re-signed him for a reason. So hopefully the offensive line can hold up. We've got Elliott, who's going to start right now, and then Corbett's behind him. Minka went up to X Factor. That's beautiful. Didn't notice that. The corners are okay for right now. There's Montgomery. Hopefully he can get a little bit more play time. All right. I mean, the team looks good on paper. It's just a matter of the playbook. Will the playbook work, and will Justin Fields actually get the job done? So let's get to the regular season, and then we can figure out this, hopefully, what could be our final wheel spin. I don't think it's going to be, but I hope that it is, because that would be pretty darn sick nasty. Okay. Got the phone ready. Got the wheel spin up, and I am now screen recording. I'm not going to forget to do that again. I'm not stupid. I am, but I'm not going to forget. So, ooh, Justin Fields gets 2 upgrade points through the preseason. That's beautiful. Absolutely massive. All right, let's do this. So here we go. We got mid-rounds in the second year. There's that wide receiver at the top. Please give me the first round. 3, 2, 1. Spin the wheel. Please, 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 please. It's spinning. It's slowing. Slow. Don't go to undrafted. Don't go to undrafted. No! We're getting undrafted players. No. All right, well, this draft, year 3 draft, is basically just a wash. It's a wash. So, that blows. Oh, that's so stupid. The draft class wheel spin has not been giving me very much luck. We can only draft guys that are projected undrafted. That is not good, if you didn't know. So hopefully, the draft won't matter because we win a Super Bowl and the video's over. That's the goal. Will that happen? It's all really up to Justin Fields, because the team around him is good enough to win a championship. How good will Justin Fields be in his first year in the Buffalo playbook? Let's find out. Year 3 is in the books, and we had a massive improvement. So the Buffalo playbook compared or combined with the team that I've already put together through these first 2 years is very, very good, because 13 wins is a lot better than 6. I know that might be hard for some of you to do, but that's better. That's just math. It's better. So let's take a look at how Justin Fields performed. Okay, these numbers are a lot more along the lines of what I wanted Justin Fields to do. 4,400 yards, 38 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. That's a very good season for Justin Fields. Back to dominance for Najee Harris. Love to see that. George Pickens got 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. Rashee Rice and Roman Wilson. I thought that was Russell Wilson for a second. Like, what? But Roman Wilson, along with Rashee Rice, both did very, very well in the yards. Rashee didn't really do too great in the touchdown market, but hey, it is what it is. We won a lot of games. Defensively, Queen again leading in tackles. Deshaun Elliott, Joey Porter. Tackle for loss leader is JJ and Hutch. Then Highsmith, Queen, Keanu Benton. And Hutch leads in sacks this time. 13.5 to TJ's 13. And then interceptions, Queen, Porter, and Minka with 2. And then a couple guys had 1. So much improved. I like to see it. But we do have a tough task as we make the playoffs for the first time in the rebuild. It's against our rivals, the Ravens. We've already made a trade with the Ravens in this rebuild. This is going to be tough. I don't expect to win, but crazier things have happened. We win. Wow. Oh, my God. We won pretty decently, too. 31-7. We blew them out. That's really good. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Now we take on the Tennessee Titans in the divisional round. Can we sneak by Tennessee? I feel like my luck's going to run out. It doesn't. We win again. We are taking on the Tennessee Titans, or not the Tennessee Titans. We were taking on the Cleveland Browns. They won the Super Bowl last year. And now we play them in the AFC title game. We are going to jump in. We've had 3 now straight home games in the playoffs. That's kind of crazy. I guess all that's left to do is go win an AFC title. This is not going to be easy by any means to beat the Cleveland Browns. I mean, they're coming off of a literal Super Bowl title. They're not having the greatest of seasons this year, but I mean, they made it back to the AFC title game again. So they're obviously doing something right. Deshaun just won the MVP of the Super Bowl last season. We are up 21-10, though. I'd like to put up some more points pretty quickly. No, I don't know what happened there, but we didn't put up any points. It's back and forth. It's going back and forth, wasting a lot of time. 28-10, 28-17 now. Come on, Pittsburgh, get the job done. Field goal, 31-17, 31-24. We got it done. I wasn't sure what happened there. I didn't know if they scored last second or not. We get the job done. We defeat the defending champions. Deshaun threw for 400 yards in that game and still couldn't get the job done. Oh my God. We are playing in the Super Bowl in year number 3. Man, changing to the Buffalo Bill playbook really did affect this team, because I doubt that we are even in the playoffs if we're still running the Steeler playbook. But the Buffalo Bill playbook, combined with the team that we've put together, really carried us this season. I mean, we only won 13 games. Not like we won 15 or 16. We only won 13 games. But to get to this point and have to play the 10-win Buccaneers, I'm feeling pretty good we can get a Super Bowl and this video can be over. I'm feeling pretty good. It's Skyline time, baby. Let's go win a Super Bowl. All right, Super Bowl time. Steelers, Buccaneers. This feels like an old school matchup, like something from the early 2000s you get. That's crazy that that's old school now at this point, but it's old school. 10-3 we lead. I don't even know who's on this Tampa Bay team now. I don't think they have Baker still. Who knows what they have. Another field goal? What's going to happen here? Yep, another field goal. 13-3. Our defense is really dominating. 20-3. Come on, defense. Okay, touchdown, but it's still a 10-point lead. Fourth quarter action. We got it. It's over. It's over. It's ball game. A touchdown. That seals it. The Pittsburgh Steelers are Super Bowl champions. We've done the rebuild. Justin Fields. Man, the Buffalo Bill playbook, it helped us so much, bro. Thank you, Buffalo Bills, for having a good playbook. Although, to be fair, we did build a pretty solid squad without the Buffalo Bill playbook. Oh, it is Baker. Baker's still the quarterback of Tampa. Okay. Oh, we did it. We absolutely did it. Man, I did not think it'd happen this early. 3 seasons it took. We didn't get any luck with the wheel spin, that's for sure. But we did end up getting a Super Bowl in the end. Now, to be fair, a lot of this was trading. I did a lot of the rebuilding via trading, but that was the whole point. I didn't get good wheel spins, so I had to go to trading. But the last season draft, the year 2 draft, I did have a pretty good draft. We drafted like 3 superstar, or not superstar development, but I mean, that might be. We drafted 3 hidden development players, which are really, really cool. We got super, super lucky with those picks. And you know what? I'm feeling kind of frisky. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to go 1 more season. So that means we'll go through the offseason. We'll handle the undrafted players and stuff, just so you guys can see that, since we spin the wheel, so we might as well see that through, see it all the way through. And then we'll go 1 more season and see if we can defend the championship, defend our crown. Let's see if we got any development trade upgrades. I'm assuming Fields, right? Yes, superstar, and Pickens superstar. Huge. It looks like Flowers ends up being a star. Cunningham, I don't know who that is, but he's a star. David Andrews retired, so it's a good thing we won a championship. Defensively, Hutch is an X factor, and I don't notice anybody else changing. Rosenthal has star development. Montgomery still doesn't. Hutch is the big one that changes. But, I mean, look at this defense. I mean, this is crazy good defense. This is a crazy, crazy good defense and a good offense. Justin Fields now. Okay, so let's just speed run through the offseason so we can get right to the draft. Season recap, though. Najee is the MVP. Dak wins another MVP of the league and an Offensive Player of the Year. Max Crosby again dominates Defensive Player of the Year. Okay, so let's speed run the offseason. Get to the draft so we can see the undrafted players get drafted to us. That's going to suck, man. I think we still have our first round pick, so I'm going to have to take somebody in the first round that's undrafted. Oh, that's going to be brutal. Luckily, it won't matter too much. They won't start, so. All right, we have a ton of money. $87 million. We need to bring back George Pickens. Good thing we have a ton of money, because we got to bring back George for this final run, the last ride. And George Pickens is coming back. Najee Harris will be back as well, because he actually turned into a solid running back. And he won Super Bowl MVP, so Good for him. Justin Fields obviously is coming back on a big-time contract because he's now the guy. He's a franchise quarterback. TJ Watt needs a ton of money, and TJ Watt can't be back. Wow, we have a lot of guys that need new contracts, so we are going to have to do a little bit of restructuring to get all these guys back because it doesn't look like we have the money. So team salaries. Let's go here, and I'm not going to do Justin Fields. That's too cheesy. Or Pickens, but we can do Queen. We can do Freiermuth. We can do Highsmith. And we can do Dante Jackson. All right, those will be the ones we do for now. Hopefully that freed up enough to get all those guys back. Especially TJ Watt. That frees up $29 million. We're just out of the reach of TJ. Just out of the reach. But if I keep giving him more years, it allows me to offer the contract, and we can bring him back. So that leaves us with $730K, and we have to bring back 3 guys. They're all pretty expensive, too. Who else can I restructure? I don't know if I have enough money. I might not be able to bring everybody back. Nope, that's the wrong thing. At least we got TJ Watt back. That was a big one. Of course, all those guys' contracts will come up at the same time. Let's go to the salaries, and let's restructure some more deals. So, who haven't we done yet? We can do James Daniels. Frees up a little bit, but now we're getting to the point where these contracts are not that expensive, so it's not going to affect too much. We can't do Corbett because he's on a rookie deal. Boswell. Yeah, none of these contracts we can even restructure. So I'll do Roman Wilson. I don't think that's going to matter too much. I think that might be it. I don't think we can get anybody else back. I might have to let go of those guys. That leaves us with $5 million. We can't bring back any of these guys. Oh, we don't have to worry about Broderick. We can accept his option. Perfect. The good thing I noticed that. That would have been awkward. But if I just give him a bunch of... Okay, I was going to say if I give him a bunch of years... that's annoying. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is we're either going to have to just let these guys walk, or we can trade them for replacements at that same position. I've done that plenty of times before. I don't really have a backup that I want to start over Holcomb. I do have Corbett. I feel like I'd be comfortable with Corbett starting over at strong safety. So, you know what? We'll trade both of them for a right outside linebacker. We probably get a pretty decent one, too. So let's find our big dogs. There's Holcomb, and there is Elliott. We can put them two together and probably get somebody pretty good, like Marvin Harrison. But we need to get another outside linebacker. So let's just focus on that. Who's going to be this right outside linebacker? These are 2 very high overall players, so we can get somebody that's, at least in theory, we can get somebody that's pretty decent, like a JOK, but he's a little too expensive. But he's kind of along those lines that I'm thinking we can probably afford to get without having to break the bank. And remember, we're not going to draft anymore after this season, so we can spend a lot of our draft picks to get somebody really valuable. But who that valuable person is, I don't know. The right outside linebacker market is not that great right now. There's some good players in here. There's a couple X factors. Cortez Wallace is a young drafted outside or X factor. I feel like I can't go for him because he wasn't in our range, and the Texans don't have any money anyway, so it's not like I could go for him anyway. I can't go for the Saints. I certainly can't trade the Ravens. We also got to keep in mind cap room because a lot of the teams that we want to trade with don't have any room. Matt Milano is not the right choice. The Browns are negative $143 million. That is brutal. Zaven Collins. Damone Clark. Damone Clark would be cool. We could certainly think about him. The Niners are negative crazy. A lot of these teams are negative. We might, you know what? Out of all the teams that have money, I think the best option is to go for Damone Clark. So we'll spend our draft with Damone Clark. We'll just offer this straight up, and it's just accept straight. I might have been able to get even more for that. But we get our new replacement at right outside linebacker, and we are pretty good to go. So let's just go straight to the draft. We can only draft freaking undrafted players because the wheel spin hates me. So let's see what we get. We will see what we get. Maybe there's some sort of stud. I don't think there will be. There never really is. Sometimes you'll get undrafted guys that have development traits, but it's pretty difficult to look for. Oh, this is going to be interesting. This is gonna be a trip. What's gonna happen here? Start the draft. Obviously, we're picking the final pick of the first round, but it doesn't matter because we're picking undrafted players. All right, let's make our selection, don't we? Okay, what do we even go for? Maybe like, what's the best odds to have decent players at the position? Maybe like corner or wide receiver? I feel like those are the best odds to have at least a decent player undrafted. Like this guy, Anthony Ship. Ship? Not great, but not as bad as some of the other undrafted guys that we could find. What about a guy like Deontay Rodriguez? But he's got poor... Okay, no. He's got poor speed. He's garbage. Garbage. Marquise Vance has great speed. Okay. We might keep Marquise Vance in the back of our minds. He could be a nice addition to the squad. There's not many strong safety options in the undrafted pool. Jamal Gordon. We don't necessarily need a strong safety, but... Because we have that guy already, but... I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have another one. What about wide receivers? Wide receiver probably has a good shot at having at least one guy that's decent. Although maybe I was wrong. A lot of these guys have Fs and Bs and Ds and all kinds of stuff. So maybe wide receiver doesn't have a good shot at that. Now maybe they're good at other positions or other spots. 5'9". We already drafted a guy with 5'9" earlier last year, I think it was. What about Daniel Weary? He's 5'8". Why are all these guys so little? He's got 4.3 speed, though. Greg Hunt. Dalton Marshall. I might just take that 4.3 speed guy. Why not? When else are you going to have a guy with 4.3 speed? Except for the other guy that we drafted. So, boom. Hidden development. 95 speed, 91 excel. What a stud. What an absolute freaking stud, bro. In the first round, too. That's a pretty banger draft pick right there. I'll take that. Hidden development. The drafting god is here, ladies and gentlemen. He's here. All right, let's go to the cornerback room, and let's grab that one guy. What was his name again? Here he is, Marquise Vance. This guy's got the best shot, I feel like, to have a good draft pick. He's 93 speed, no development trait, but that's okay. He's still a decent pick. We're in the 4th round now. So we get him. We get him, and then we go to the 5th round, and we will take... I don't even know at this point. Maybe a center or something. Is there an undrafted center that's pretty good? Gavin Costanzo. He doesn't look bad. We'll take Gavin Costanzo. Costanzo, whatever you want to call him. Get at least an offensive lineman. I think that's the first offensive lineman we drafted in this video. We got pretty lucky with being the Steelers that we had a decent offensive line already. What about a tackle? There's got to be a decent tackle available. Like this guy, Kyle Harrell, 6'5". Good enough for me. 86 strength. Okay. The drafting god kind of is doing his thing. And now we got Mr. Irrelevant. Who wants to be Mr. Irrelevant? Who wants to be Mr. Irrelevant? Maybe it's a free safety. Maybe it's this big dog, Tony Bjorn? I don't know. Lawrence Evans, 6 foot. Nah, sucks. Cheeks, buns, garbage, straight up booty cheeks. Oh, we can't go for South Santiago. He's day 3. We got to go for undrafted guys. Undrafted broskies. Undrafted jabronis. Who else? Is there any like freak builds? Like 6'9" or something like that? That'd be crazy. I mean, there's a 6'4" linebacker, DeMarco Gatson. 6'4", 245. That's a big boy, but he's not that good. And then all these other guys. This guy's 6'6". Jose Jordan. He's not that good either. What about D tackles? Is there any freak D tackle builds? 6'5", 6'5". A bunch of 6'5s. I'm looking for like a 6'8", 430 pounds. That's what I'm looking for, but I don't see any of those there. That's okay. We'll go for... I don't know. We'll go for this guy. I like his name. Landry Ballard. Sure, why not? He's Mr. Irrelevant. He's not going to be good, but it doesn't matter because we have Keanu Benton. How good was that draft class that we just did? Probably not that great, but I don't know. Okay, so Weary's a 64. Vance is a 70. So this draft class was not great for us. But that's because we were drafting undrafted guys. What do you expect? There was an 81 overall and then a couple of 79. It wasn't that great of a draft either. We're not really getting lucky with good, just quality draft classes in general. But maybe that's a good thing because we didn't get very good draft class spins on the wheel. So we're getting pretty lucky, I guess, in theory. In Austin theory. Okay, so let's go to season number 4 with this stud of a team. It's a juggernaut of a team. You might even say it's a juggernaut of a team. All right, I'm not going to spin the wheel anymore because we're not going to use the draft picks anyway, so it's not like we're ending after the Super Bowl, so it doesn't matter if we spin the wheel or not, but we did spin the wheel 3 times. Didn't get lucky at all. We got the 3 worst ones. We didn't get the round 1 to 2, which is what I wanted. But I guess that's good because it made it more difficult for me. It made me have to think outside the box a little bit. And Justin Fields is a 90 overall now. He's really killing it in this Buffalo playbook. It made me think out of the box a little bit and change how I rebuild. Usually I rebuild through free agency and through the draft. But now I had to rebuild through trading, which is not really what it's not usually what I do. So had to make me rethink a little bit. But we did win our championship. I'm going to simulate this season, see how we do, see if we can defend our crown, and then, yeah, we'll wrap up the video. We wrapped up the final season. We didn't do very well, did we? But the whole division didn't do very well. Everybody won 9 or 8 games. It's kind of crazy, actually. We didn't win the division. We have to go on the road to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Not as good as the last year, but hey, I mean, we got our championship, so I guess it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Fields had another really solid season. Najee had a really good year. Pickens and Rice both had killer seasons with a lot of touchdowns between them. So the team was doing well. We just weren't, for some reason, winning a bunch of games. Or at least as many as we probably could have and should have. But, I mean, TJ Watt had a massive season as well. He might even take home Defensive Player of the Year this year and finally dethrone Max Crosby, who's been taking home Defensive Player of the Year, I think, every single season, or at least most of them. But we've got a playoff game against the Bengals here in the wild card round. It'd be very Madden if we lose in the wild card round. Okay, we actually do get a win. That's nice to see. That's nice to see. At least we get a W against the Bengals. Usually Madden screws you and makes you lose in the wild card round. Now we take on the New York Jets. This could be where they come and get me, and it is. 13-6. We lose in the divisional round to the Jets. So unfortunately, we don't get to go back to the Super Bowl and defend our championship, but that is totally fine because we already got ours last season. Another successful rebuild. This one was fun. Like I said before, it made me rethink and readjust how I rebuild a team because usually I just go through the draft and through free agency. This time, I went mainly through trading. I mean, we picked up Rashee Rice through a trade. We picked up Trenton Simpson through a trade. We picked up Damone Clark through a trade. We picked up Aiden Hutchinson through a trade. Like, a lot of the core pieces of this team we picked up through trading. So I do think that this wheel spin rebuild gave me an option that I don't usually take, which is trade some players for other players. I don't usually do that because I don't know. I like my draft picks. If you've ever watched a rebuild on my channel, you know I like draft picks. So, because there's always that possibility you could get a stud. But this time I forego my draft picks for most part, and we went the trading route. But still, we drafted some fun players. We drafted. We went through the rebuild or the parameters of the rebuild. We drafted the first year. It was rounds. What was it? Round 6 and 7. Then we drafted rounds 3 through 5, and then the final year was undrafted players. Unfortunately, kind of sucky. We got all the worst ones when we didn't get the one that I absolutely wanted, which was rounds 1 through 2. That was the one I was going for, but it was not the case. It is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, though. NCAA content is coming to the channel next week. I cannot wait. I think, right? Or maybe it's like a week and a half. I don't know. It's coming very, very soon, so be on the lookout for that. There's going to be so much content you won't even be able to breathe. So I'm super excited about that. Cannot wait. We've also got a little bit more Madden content to come out while we wait for Madden 25. I know that Madden 25 is not going to be as nearly as hot as it usually is because obviously we'll have a month of college football content, and if that game is like really killing it, Madden 25 is going to take a massive drop-off in views and stuff, so I'm going to have to work around that. Like I said in a previous video, I'll have to see what all the other Madden YouTubers do around the community, see how they adjust to it, and I'll play it by ear and see how we can do. But hope you guys enjoyed the rebuild. If you have any ideas for rebuilds while we wait for college football to come out, or while we wait in the intermediate period while we wait for Madden 25 to come out, let me know down below in the comments section and give me your ideas. I'd love to hear them. So thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.